Good day everyone. Today we will be discussing about a case study about engineer's dispute with client over design. For the background of the case, engineer A was hired to design a project and develop the best design that he believed he did and presented it to the client. The client believes that the design is too large and complex and asks for a simpler solution. Engineer A believes that it's not possible to get simpler solution and it could bring danger to the public. The client asked to deliver the drawings to him to present it to Engineer B and complete the project instead to his liking, and is willing to pay for everything as long as Engineer A delivers the drawing. Engineer A initially refuses to deliver them. So the question is, would it be ethical for Engineer A to deliver the plans and specifications to the client?
The groups stand on the case that Engineer A was ethical until the event of discussing that his design was large and complex, but it was the best design to ensure safety and welfare. On the other hand, the group found a flaw in the ethical perspective of Engineer A, where he initially refused to give the plans, with necessary payment for his work. It showed distrust and false assumption about the capabilities of other engineers. Clients should always have a choice for the products and services they are offered to, and it is only right that Engineer A gave the plans as service for the client.
For justifications, we will discuss several ethical theories, code of ethics, fundamental canons, and principles. In the utilitarianism approach, the actions of engineer A would be ethical if he delivers the plans and specifications to the client, as this would promote human well-being due to his arguments on the design being the best approach possible for safety. Furthermore, using the cost-benefit analysis, if engineer A would not deliver the plans, no one would benefit from this option. However, if he would deliver the plans to the client which will be presented to engineer B, the public would benefit from this since engineer A's intentions are to prioritize safety and human well-being. In terms of duty ethics, the actions of engineer A are still ethical, since he is to follow the order of his client, which is to deliver the plans that he prepared regardless of whether or not the plan would still be followed. In the perspective of rights ethics, delivering the plans to the client is ethical, since this promotes the rights of the public to safety. For virtue ethics, if engineer A would deliver the plans to the client, it would be ethical since this supports the good intentions of the engineer, which is to prioritize the safety of the public.
For the Code of Ethics, Engineer A prioritized the code of health and safety of the public as a primary concern. For the fundamental principles that were presented in the case, fundamental principle number 1, using their knowledge and skills for the enhancement of human welfare and the environment, and principle number 2, which is being honest and impartial and serving with fidelity the public, their employers or employees, and the clients.
Fundamental canons. Number 1, safety, health and welfare of the public. Engineer A showed a fundamental canon number 1 by presenting his hypothesis about the best design for the client, but it was unethical for him to initially refuse to give the plans and specifications since it is an evidence of false assumptions about the engineer B. He assumed his design was the best and that engineer B was not capable of ensuring safety, health and welfare of the public. Number 6, honor, integrity, and dignity of the civil engineering profession. As said earlier, engineers are professionals and we must have trust in our co-engineers. Engineers must not assume negatively and show bias to our work. The action of the client was justifiable because it was for his sake and it was actually best for the client to seek a second opinion. As engineers, we must not just ensure our personal honor, integrity, and dignity, but also to our fellow engineers.
Now for the fishbone analysis, engineer A delivers the plans and specifications to the client, and the client presents them to engineer B. After which, engineer B reviews the plans and confirms that the provided design is optimal for the structure whilst prioritizing the safety of the public. With the client confirming to another engineer that the provided plans and specifications are optimal for the structure, he hires engineer A again for the completion of the project and pays engineer B for his consultation services. Because of this, by following the orders of his client to deliver the plans, engineer A has already gained the client's trust and is hired for future projects. That is all for our presentation. Thank you for listening.